Hello YouTube, I'm Vigelant and I want to welcome you to another episode of the historic review of World War II ships. Today I will be talking about the Italian Navy battleship Roma. The video was kindly provided by one of my clanmates Securito, so without further delay, let's get into it. Roma was named after the city of Rome and it was the third Littorio-class battleship of Italy's Royal Navy. Before the start of World War II, the Italian leader Benito Mussolini did not realize that he will need any large naval fleet. However, once he realized that the world will soon be at war, two old battleships of the Conte di Cavour class were sent to be modernized, and the Vittorio Veneto and Littorio battleships were laid down in 1934. In May 1935, the Italian Naval Ministry began preparing for a 5-year naval building program that would include 4 battleships, 3 aircraft carriers, 4 cruisers, 54 submarines, and 40 smaller ships. In December 1935, Admiral Domenico Cavanari proposed to Mussolini that, among other things, 2 more battleships of the Littorio class should be built to attempt to counter a possible Franco-British alliance. If the two countries combined their forces, they would easily outnumber the Italian fleet. Mussolini postponed his decision but later authorized planning for the 2 ships in January 1937. The 2 ships were Roma and her sister ships Impero. Once built, Roma was 240 meters long, powered by 4 steam turbines with a total of 128,000 horsepower. The engines provided a top speed of 30 knots, which is the equivalent of 56 kilometers per hour or 35 miles per hour. With her fuel tanks full, she had a range of almost 4,000 nautical miles, which is the equivalent of around 7,200 kilometers or 4,500 miles. Roma had a crew of almost 2,000 and she was fitted with a catapult on her stern and equipped with 3 reconnaissance float planes. Roma's main armament consisted of 9 381mm guns in 3 triple turrets. 2 turrets were placed forward in a super firing arrangement and the third was located on the aft. Her secondary anti-surface armament consisted of 12 152mm guns in 4 triple turrets and 4 120mm guns in single mounts. Roma was equipped with anti-aircraft battery that comprised of 12 90mm guns in single mounts, 20 37mm guns, and 16 20mm guns. The ship was protected by a main armored belt that was 280mm with a second layer of steel that was 70mm thick. The main deck was 162mm thick in the central area of the ship and reduced to 45mm in less critical areas. Now, the service record of the ship is regrettably not very long. Roma was commissioned into the Regia Marina on 14th of June 1942, but a severe fuel shortage in Italy at that time prevented her from being deployed. Instead, along with her sister ships Vittorio Veneto and Littorio, she was used in the anti-aircraft defenses of various Italian cities. In this role, she was severely damaged twice in June 1943 from US bomber raids on La Spezia. After repairs in Genoa, through all of July 1943, Roma was deployed as the flagship of Admiral Carlo Bergamini in a large battle group that consisted of 3 battleships, 8 cruisers, and 8 destroyers. The battle group was scheduled to attack the Allied ships approaching Salarino to invade Italy on 9th of September 1943, but the news of the 8th of September 1943 armistice with the Allies led to the operation being cancelled. The Italian fleet was instead ordered to sail to Malta to surrender to the Allies. While on their way to Malta, the Germans found out that the Italian navy will surrender its entire fleet to the Allies. They realized that this meant that the Allies will have stronger fleet in the Mediterranean and that they will have to eventually fight with these ships. So they launched reconnaissance planes to find the fleet and then destroy it, thus preventing it from falling in the hands of the Allies. The Germans found and trailed the fleet for some time, but the Italians did not open fire upon sighting them. They were trailing the fleet at such distance that it was impossible to identify them as Allied or Axis. Bergamini believed that they were the air cover promised to them by the Allies. However, while the force was in the Strait of Bonifacio, the German Luftwaffe specialist wing, armed with radio-controlled bombs, attacked the fleet. The attack spurred the fleet into action, and the anti-aircraft batteries on board opened fire, and all ships began evasive maneuvers. The first attack failed, however the second one dealt severe damage to Roma. The heat on her caused water to flood two boiler rooms and the aft engine room, leaving the ship to limp along with two propellers, reduced power, and fires on the stern of the ship. Shortly after, another bomb hit the ship and detonated within the forward engine room, causing catastrophic flooding and the explosion of one of the main turret's magazines. The explosion was so fierce that it threw the turret itself into the sea. Sinking by the bow and listing to starboard, Roma capsized and broke in two, carrying almost 1,400 men, including the captain Carlo Bergamini, down with her. The sunken vessel was found in June 2012. It was discovered about 30 kilometers off the northern coast of Sardinia at a depth of around 1,000 meters. On 10th of September 2012, a memorial ceremony was held on an Italian frigate over the spot where Roma went down. So this was the life and death of the Roma battleship, the third Littorio class battleship that was ever built. If you like this video, hit that subscribe button, as I will be making many more videos based on in-game ships and the historical events that they were involved in. Thank you all for joining, enjoy the rest of the battle, and I'll see you in my next video.
The ship is on fire! battleship destroyed.
Battle ends in 5
Enemy
minutes.
battleship foundered.
Our team has taken the lead.
The ship is on fire!